The corporations have not yet won.
Community still exists in small tucked-away areas not often talked about.
Artists and businesses beginning to thrive in places thought to be defeated.
Dave, I like to call him David Francis.
And I, Tom Maslowski,
are here to give you a glimpse of what's going down in downtown J-Town.
We're going to be interviewing all of our favorite musicians,
Artists and business owners
that give every ounce of themselves into what they do.
We are back at Third City Sound for another installment of What's Going Down in Downtown J-Town. This is your host, Tom Maslowski, and also my co-host and engineer, magician man, David J. Francis.
I guess you can call me magician, but I do tend to edit things that I claim not to edit sometimes.
I don't believe you, Dave. I believe it's just magic.
That's right. This is all live, one take, didn't start over or anything.
We may have had to do more than one take, but that's just so we can remain true to our whole show aesthetic. Above Chicago Street Pub, our favorite music venue, in our favorite recording studio, Third City Sound, we have with us tonight Brit Dignan, Wild by Nature. You gonna have some tunes for us or what? We got some new tunes today, is that right?
Yeah, we got a couple new tunes. This first one is only about a couple weeks old, so
I cannot wait to hear it.
a song called My Friend. Well, you see, my friend, this life can be rough. Take it on the chin and dust yourself off. When things get too heavy, they seem to weigh you down. You can trust in me, my friend. And when this world tears a hole big enough to fall in, I'll pick you back up and dust you off again. 'Cause nothing lasts forever, this darkness never wins. But you can trust in me, my friend. And if the sun should never rise again, the moon should never come out, and the mountains should crumble and fall into the sea, I will stay with you, my friend, until the end. Finds your weakness and breaks your heart, meet you at the end and bring you back to the start. This life is never easy, and it can rip you apart, but you can trust in me, my friend. If you see yourself drifting alone, lost at sea, I'll be the wind in your sails and bring you back to me. 'Cause this world is an ocean, it's cold and it's deep, but you can trust in me, my friend. And if the sun should never rise again, the moon should never come out, and the mountains should crumble and fall into the sea, I will stay with you, my friend, until the end. and the mountains should crumble and fall into the sea, I will stay with you, my friend, until the end. And if the sun should never rise again, the moon should never come out, and the mountains should crumble and fall into the sea, I will stay with you, my friend, until the end. I will stay with you, my friend, until the end.
Nice.
Thank you.
Very cool. Man, you know, I always love when I get the bands or the artists to come in and do a brand new song that's never been heard or recorded before. I kind of get excited about that. I appreciate you coming on and sharing that with us. I know that one is going to probably end up on the new album. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, I'm hoping that this actually ends up being the single off of it that will probably drop first. It's one of those songs I wrote a couple weeks ago, and it kind of came about as, I believe I wrote the chorus driving in my car, and the next day in the morning, my son was watching cartoons, and I actually finished writing the song in about 10 minutes. It was just one of those songs kind of came together, and I like how upbeat it is, and good message on it too.
What is, do you mind going into depth about what that song's about?
Yeah, basically, it's called My Friend, as basically everybody's got that friend that struggles, and seems like they're always struggling, and they can't get out of a hole. And a lot of people, sometimes you need to be a beacon of light to that friend, and kind of bring them back from the darkness, get them out of their hole that they're in, and try and dust them back off and tell them things are going to be okay. So that's basically what it's all about. I have a couple friends that are come to mind. I won't get into details on that, but it's kind of written about a couple different of my friends. So
very cool. And we were talking earlier downstairs at Chicago Street Pub. We always end up recording on Monday nights. That's a night that's always available, and it's really great because the Alex Hoffer Acoustic Open Mic Night is always taking place. So everyone gets to kind of come and hang out beforehand and maybe even play a few tunes on stage. And we were all talking outside. Was it Brian Motel and Hoffer about the wonderful uses of the voice memo on the iPhone?
Oh, yeah.
Was that what you used when you said you were driving home in your car? Is that basically an iPhone session there?
Basically, yeah. It's funny. You'll be jamming some music or something pop in your head, and I'll turn it all the way down, and you gotta, go right to the voice memo. I do that with a lot of things, man. Yeah, even like when you got something like on a guitar with no vocals or anything like that, it's just like I'm gonna forget that if I don't do it.
Yeah.
And I remember, lead singer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, his name Anthony Cletus. Cletus.
I like that better.
Right? I remember hearing an interview from him one time, and he kind of said the same thing. Like, when you have an idea, you got to get that down. He's like, when they were first starting out, he'd be driving, he'd pull over to the side of the road, write it down because he didn't have voicemails.
Yeah, right.
But so I kind of I adopted that, and now it's like I love that voice memo thing, man.
Yeah, I had to actually go through and clean out my phone the other day because I started running out of space.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, where the hell is all this coming from? I looked at my voice memo. I have stuff from 2011 on there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I don't even know what this is
gold.
anymore. Yeah, some of it is not gold at all. It's like coal. It's not good at all. Do you have any other voice memo songs going on?
As of right now, pretty much my whole voice memo is pretty much everything that's going to be going on the EP or
nice,
whatever this turns out. And there's like 8 different versions of every song. And right now, I would say there's probably 20 something. So I've been writing for the past couple months, trying to wean everything out, and I think I got about 15 solid songs over the past 2 months that will eventually make it onto some kind of album. But I'm trying to just get something out there quick for this new project, Wild by Nature, and it was really hard, man. I had a whiteboard. I had all the song names on, and I honestly started feeling crazy because I'd be like, all right, I got 5 of them. And then I'd go in the other room, I'd be relaxing. 10 minutes later, I'd be in there with the eraser. Wait, I'm only going to do 3, and they're going to be these 3. And then all of a sudden, I'm doing 6, and these 3 are gone. And so that's, the voice memo is pretty much all EP stuff right now.
So how did you end up coming to your final conclusion of what you would include
You said 15 was the final?
Yeah, I think about 15 brand new songs.
And you whittled it down to like 5.
Yeah,
like,
whittled
Was
down
there
to-
anything like? Did you do anything special to try and decide? Like flip a coin, watch a race on Kentucky Derby or something. Assign a track to a horse.
I'm going to use that next time, Dave. That's great.
That's how my fantasy football league picked our draft order last year.
Because I don't gamble well. I might as well just like hand the cash over and just say thank you and walk out. So I'm going to use that method.
I'll flip a coin, but yeah, I didn't do that on this because it wouldn't matter. I'd flip the coin and be like, all right, you picked that one, but no, I don't want that one. I'd probably keep flipping the coin, But yeah, it was weird. I haven't had to do that. My first album with just as Brit Dignan was, I wrote those songs, and those songs were what made it on there. And I think it was like 13 songs. But I remember one of them was I wrote like the day of going in the studio. And that ended up being like the single on the album, which is really bizarre.
That's awesome. Sometimes, yeah, your first instinct is the best, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, it's funny how having to go through that, trying to figure this out, and then on top of it, starting a whole new project from the ground up. And I'm not gonna lie, there's some stressful situation trying to figure all that stuff out, but it's starting to come together a little bit.
Now, what is changing about it? Because I know that you were mostly a solo artist. And now, is this album going to be split? Are you going to have? Is it all full band? Is it a little bit of each? What?
No, it's basically we were chatting about this downstairs at the pub, but I really started to dissect myself as an artist over the past few years, and I've been at this for pretty much straight out of high school. I've been playing almost full time for almost 10 years now, and seeing as it's I always I'm a big my biggest influence is I love writing. That's my favorite thing about a song. I could take the music out of anything and just listen to the vocals, the lyrics, and the writing. I love poetry, writing like that. And for some of the songs I was writing as Brit Dignan, I started getting a little bit more poppier and doing some things that I wasn't wanting to do. And I was starting to fall into this rut where I was writing song after song after song. And then I'd write 5 of them, and I wouldn't like those 5 songs.
Oh, wow.
Then but they'd be good. People would like them. I'd be playing them at shows. And then I really started getting into, like I said earlier, I was talking about Iron and Wine, and just the way that how Sam Beam is just, he's nasty, how he writes. And
You see, I know nothing about them. And Brian Motel, when he was on here with his band Riverhorse, also brought that band up. I maybe I need to go check them out.
yeah, and basically it stems by, it starts with just him. And, but he, at any time, he'll have 8 dudes playing with him or 1 person playing with him. It's kind of, you never know what to expect. And that's kind of the approach what I wanted to do with this is on the EP, there's, a couple of songs where it's just me, maybe a little violin. Then there's, of course, you and Don are going to be on there.
Sure, Don Nudie. Yep, killer drummer.
Oh, he's amazing, man. I remember the first time I heard him, we were joking about this the other day because he played one of my last shows at Chicago Street with me. And I go, man, you sound just like Ray LaMontagne and the Prairie Dogs. Like that one drummer, even one of and he goes, you mean the Pariah Dogs, right? And I felt like such an idiot. And then like we were talking the other day and I was like, hey, you remember when you said that? I'm like, now every time I see that, that's all I think about.
That's all you think.
But, yeah. But he reminds me just how sick and like that drummer is for that group. And first time I heard him playing, I was blown away, man. He's probably one of the best drummers I've heard in a while. So
It's really hard to play with other drummers. There's about 3 or 4 that it's awkward for me to not play with. It would be Donico Nudie, Johnny Salazar is a drummer I play with in another band called End Transmission. Brett Figuera is nuts. We just had him on the show last week, and he's in so many bands and plays so many styles. He's always great to play with. And there's a Russian guy I met through teaching and through music. He's like a rocket scientist, basically, and he's a great. He works at Argonne National Laboratory, so
Wow.
no big deal, right? He moved here from another country. He's got a better job than I do, and I'm like, yeah, I play guitar. But I think those 4 guys, if for some reason I couldn't play with any of those 4 people, I'd probably cry a lot.
I mean, I kind of got the same situation going on. My one of my good friends, Jason Ackerman, he's underground, and I've been playing with him for 7 or 8 years, and yeah, he used to play full set on some of the bands and everything, and then he totally made a transition into hand percussion, and I use him 90% of the time for all like my duo shows and stuff like that, and he's gotten really good on hand percussion, and then you hear Don on full kit, and it's like I'm used to playing with just hand
one or
percussion,
the other, yeah.
and it's like, wow, I didn't even think that was possible for my song to sound like that,
So now, are they both going to make an appearance on the album?
I think Jay will probably, maybe later on down the road.
Okay.
As far as recording wise, I think a lot of like what I came into with my last record is, I almost felt like we might have put too much on it. And
what do you mean, like too many layers?
I think it was more like some of the songs, like I play 90% solo shows, and I'd be playing these songs by myself, and it just the oomph wasn't there, and I always felt weird about it. And with this newer type of writing, where I'm more concentrated on lyrics and bringing it down with some finger picking and stuff like that, there's like, well, that song is more upbeat, but my goal is to kind of keep it simple, to where like not simple like like sound wise. When I'm playing solo, it almost you get the same feel as if say you and Don were on stage with me.
Sure.
But it's like that's kind of important to me that since I love lyrics and writing, I want people to focus more on that.
Yeah.
And
So you're going for more like a more accurate representation. Of
exactly.
Your,
yeah.
of
And
your
it's
show.
like yeah. And
yeah.
when I was younger, I used to record some stuff just on my own in high school, and even after high school, I had a CD called "Living It" that was just, we didn't even master it or anything. I recorded at Lab 32, and was that like Waukegan or something back in the day with my dad's friend. It's just this really small, like tiny studio.
Sure.
But it was almost like similar, and it was really weird because my wife was listening to these new songs like last week. She goes, I like this. It reminds me a lot of your older stuff. The stuff I first started listening to when I first met you.
So would you say that the rut you say you got in, were you writing more for the presentation of it as opposed? No, that's not what I mean to say. Were you kind of trying to cater to the pop band thing as opposed to just writing a song that held weight for yourself?
Like in the beginning?
Yeah, you said that you wanted to make that change. You fell
It was
into
almost
writing.
like I was so fresh that I almost fell into my genre, like my style, my genre that I wanted to fall into right off the bat. So when I started playing, it was almost like that was me, like that was my sound. And then, as you get older and you hear so much different music, and it gets banged into your head, and next thing you know, like a month later, I'm playing this, and then this month I'm listening to this, and I listen to so many different kinds of music that it all kind of blended to one. And I love a lot of the songs on my last record. It just I kind of wanted to go like almost like a 180. I want to do like a 180, and just kind of write for more like myself.
Yeah.
And just I really dived into just trying to write more. And then like a lot of times I'll write a song, especially the past few years, I wouldn't know what the song is about until I listen to it and be like, oh, okay, cool, it's about that. That's that came out of me, but it was, I'd sit down and write it and wouldn't really know. This project, I've kind of been trying to, like, make up a story or take examples from life situations and actually try and write about it.
So this is more of a personal situation than just...
Sure. Yeah, like I was playing a show at this little venue a couple weeks ago, and I saw this older gentleman sitting at a table, single rows on the table, and he just looked... like sad, like, and he was all by himself, and really nice guy. Came up, dropped a $20 bill in a tip jar, and I remember while I was playing, I don't remember what song I was playing, I just had this idea, like, this guy, it almost, I got to feel like maybe his wife passed away, and they came here every week and sat at the same table, ordered the same thing, and he's still doing his repetitions, like he's still living that life. So I actually just recently wrote a song that few days ago called Hemingway and Wine, which I'm not going to get into today because it's still in the early stages, but it's all about that, and it stems from that. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do, is kind of like set out to write about something and actually accomplish it.
I know what you mean. Sometimes you end up with the chords and the melody and you don't really have words to go along with it, so you're sort of Almost like
Yep.
kind of like grasping at straws. Like, I think I'm trying to say this. I'll just say this. This sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you'll have like 10 songs and you'll be like, this line could work here with that.
Yeah.
And then like it turns into something, but you're like, what was I thinking with
What
that?
was that? Yeah. That's interesting. And so then that's why you're changing the name of the project to Wild by Nature, is kind of say like you're reinventing.
Yeah, I'm kind of like reinventing myself, and I just wanted to step away. And if I came out with another Brit Dignan album, it's another Brit Dignan album. And if I kind of step away from that and start this Wild by Nature thing, it's just a whole new type of music, whole new like me kind of. And not to say that I won't come out with any more like solo stuff, but I mean, in a sense, this is solo stuff. But I like the idea of having that name, not my name, because you never know. I could have full band with me. I could do this, and it was just, I don't know. One of my buddies actually, he reached some success with one of his bands. They were like together for 13 years, and I remember one time he told me, because you did it right. You used your name, and they had like a different name, and I always thought about that, and I was like, okay, I could get that. And then later on in life, I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I kind of want to change something else,
I always end up doing that too. Like, oh, just use your name, and maybe it is kind of a sort of a cop out in a way. Like, well, it's the Alex Hoffer band. Maybe we should just say Alex Hoffer. Like I think he even suggested at one point maybe calling it something, but and I understand what you're saying totally about wanting to reinvent yourself, but I think you have a cool name to be an artist. It's it's an easy name to remember. It's an easy name to pronounce, to read. It's, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Alex Hoffer, Brit Dignan. I'm sorry, Brit Dignan. Brit Dignan.
It's so easy to pronounce.
I always go backwards.
Dude, I know my whole life I've gotten Bert Dignab, Bragner, dude. I literally have baseball trophies with like Bert Pignam. like
Pignam.
My dad was always my baseball coach, and he'd always get the weirdest things. Like he literally has a plaque that says Ken Pigman, like with our baseball team. It's like Coach Ken.
Coach Ken.
You're like, what the heck?
I always just mix up your two vowels. I do know what it says, but I understand the idea of having a name for the band too. That also is cool to just have this.
Yeah, we used to call it Brit Dignan Band too back in a few years back. It was more of a jam band, and like I had. My buddy Jay was the original drummer, the guy I talked about earlier. Dave Campbell from Digiometric is a hell of a guitar player. Then Mike Duffy from Digiometric came in. And my buddy Saul Ortega was playing bass for a while. We kind of just had a bunch of random people. Scott Mass played keys.
Oh, Scott, yeah.
Yeah. Scotty's a good guy, man. He's a hell of a key player, too.
I haven't seen him in a really long time. Did he move kind of down south?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while. I mean, I still, every now and then we'll comment on something on Facebook, but yeah, once we all kind of went separate ways, and once I had a family too, I play so many times during the week, like just restaurants, bars, and stuff like that. That I every time I get to play an original show, it's maybe once a month, so it's like.
So at your weekly gigs, you want to call them like your job gigs or whatever, you're not doing a lot of originals. It's mostly covers.
I'm doing, like usually 75% covers.
Is that by request of the establishments?
No, not really. The cool thing is a lot of the places I play, like the owners actually like some of my original tunes. So I always have like 5 or 6 that I'll throw in between. And over the years, it's just kind of when you play so many restaurants, I kind of whatever the crowd's feeling. Like if it's an older crowd, I'm sticking closer to 60s and 70s, Younger crowd, it's like, go to hell, I'm going to stick to 60s and 70s. But,
get an education.
Yeah, I don't play too much of the newer stuff, but I do throw some originals in there, here and there.
What restaurants around do you play? I know you're from Manhattan. You've been here in Joliet. You've been at the pub a few times.
Yeah, I just moved to Manhattan in September, but I grew up. I was born in Bolingbrook, lived in Orland, moved to Homer, lived in Lockport. Man, so I'm from the area.
Everywhere,
but,
man.
Yeah, man, I've been everywhere.
Been everywhere.
But I mean, every Tuesday, I play at this place in Orland. It's called Girl in the Park, and my close friends Jamie and Robert Parker. They're awesome, great food. But I play there from 6 to 8, and on Thursdays I'm at Gatto's in New Lenox. I play Pollyanna Brewery in Lamont once a month.
Some good beer.
Oh
right
man,
there.
all about the Lexical Gap. I actually got a Pollyanna hat on right now.
Is it? Oh, see, I'm not in the know as far as that. I've had a
man.
few of their beers. I've
So
not
good.
yet been there. Maybe this is a good excuse. I can go see you play.
There
and
we
get
go.
some- get
Yeah,
some
I'm
beer.
actually there. Next week? I think I'm there every second Friday of the month. So
What is the date on that?
Oh man, is that the
Because when we
14th? I want to say.
the 14th of April, because I think we're going to release this the Monday before that. Probably.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Probably.
And now that we're mentioning all these names,
Yeah.
I can kind of tell them, hey, you guys got to share us on your Facebook because we plugged you guys.
Yeah.
There we go.
You plug us, we plug you.
There we go.
Wait a minute.
It's the circle of life. It's like,
Uh-oh. Those are the magic chimes signaling the end of the interview portion of our show. That was awesome. We didn't even get into like your origins or background or anything. You did mention, I'm not going to pry, but you did mention that you had a second brand new song to play for us. Is that true?
yeah, it's it's a newer song. I actually wrote it a couple months ago, but I kind of forgot about it for a while, and it's back in now. So it's back.
The benefit of the binder and once again the voice memo.
And I'm a huge fan too. It's funny. I haven't had a printer in forever. So I have to write everything out.
Yeah.
You see my notebook. It's like, why don't you just print that out with all the chords? And I'm old school, man.
Yeah, sometimes you got to write a thing out, right?
Yeah. So yeah, this is a newer song. This is called "If I Could." If I could find it here.
If you could find it.
If I could find it.
And then swing that mic out of the way when you're ready.
We're going to use the capo.
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 The capo. Oh man, he's going 4th fret on the capo. He's getting serious.
Yes. Yes, this song's called "If I Could." If I could swim the ocean, be swallowed by the sea, I'd take my time and die and do it properly. Underneath the waves, it's peaceful and it's calm. Breathing on the water, it's like sleeping on the ground. If I could climb a mountain and touch the golden sky, and hang out with the angels and kiss this world goodbye, float above the clouds, ride satellites to Mars, pretend that I was Bowie and rock out with the stars. Life's for the living and death's for the dead. So don't waste your time thinking on what might have been. Oh, imagine you only have moments to live. Would you waste your time crying, or would you forgive and smile at all the times life's let you down? If I could tell the future, I'd gamble every day. I'd sell all my possessions and move to West LA. I'd hang out with the locals, frequent all the bars, live like I was dying, and drive the fastest cars.
life's for the living and death's for the dead. So don't waste your time thinking of what might have been. Oh, imagine you only have moments to live. Would you waste your time crying, or would you forgive and smile at all the times life's let you down? Oh, 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 oh.
That was awesome.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
And thanks for being cool enough and brave enough to do not just one, but two brand new songs. That's awesome.
Yeah, got a couple flub ups in there, but I don't think you know. I kind of buried them.
No, I didn't notice a thing. I was captivated.
I
the whole
might
time.
know because, as was not mentioned at all in the episode, I am helping recording.
Oh,
the
yes,
album.
yes.
Dave is the magic man behind the soundboard. I thought that was kind of a given that, like,
Yeah,
all
you are
things-
the magic man.
Well, it's not a given that I do everybody's album, but Brit has been gracious enough to ask me to record his album.
So we should just record a sound bit and just insert that.
I think so. I think that'd be all right.
It's like, hey, Dave is also producing the record. Yeah, but then I also like Choco Tacos.
Yeah.
You know.
Dave likes producing records and Choco Tacos.
Long walks on the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk. Long
Yes.
sidewalks is what he meant to say. Well, thanks, everybody. Thank you, Dave, for doing everything that you do.
Thank you, Tom, for hosting.
I could not do this at all if it wasn't for Dave doing all the hard work. I sit on the chair while
What you do is
Dave
the hard
does-
work, my friend. What I do is the easy work. It's time consuming, but it's easy.
Thanks for having me out, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Britt. And that is it for our show this evening. Once again, above Chicago Street Pub, the greatest place for original music ever. And thank you, Bill Aldrich, for once again leaving Mondays open. So
He
that
will
we
be
can-
on the show very soon.
He will be on the show.
Yeah, we're
very
going to
soon.
grill him about the origins of the studio.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. The Vaudevillains. Well, at least Bill and Jeff are.
I think Bill will get his own episode, then the Vaudevillains will get an episode for sure.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. As long as they want to do that, I'd want to do that. I like talking, so that'd
will.
be cool for me.
They will. Let's wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap it. This is a wrap. This has also been What's Going Down.